Okay, I'm John Valentino of John and Bob's, and we're here at Fresno Chaffee Zoo at a new warthog exhibit. It's a warthog exhibit that we're building, and we just installed this sod a few days ago. And as you might imagine, the zoo's goal for this sod is to have it root as quickly as possible, because warthogs are going to be grubbing around on it real soon, and we're pretty sure they're going to be trying to dig it up. And so we want this to root quickly, root deeply, and the best way to do that is by making the soil optimal for that purpose. And that's also the best way for you to plant sod and have it root quickly in your own gardens is to treat the soil properly. So what we used is 3 of our products here: Optimize, Maximize, and Nourish-Biosol. If you buy it online, you can buy those 3 already mixed together, called blend. If you buy it at a nursery, you would buy the Optimize, the Maximize, and the Nourish-Biosol separately, and you'd mix them together in a 1-2-3 ratio. 1 part Optimize, 2 parts Nourish-Biosol, 3 parts Maximize. And then you can just apply it all at once. That's how we use it on all the jobs we do, is we mix it together 1-2-3, and then we throw it on top of the ground, or you can even put it on top of the grass. But if you have the opportunity to put it directly on the soil, that's better. Once the grass starts growing, then it can be thrown on top of the grass. So the Optimize is like concentrated organic matter, and that coats all the soil particles. We have some relatively hard and heavy soil here, so it coats the soil particles and allows a better exchange of air and water, so that the soil particles don't stick together. So it's kind of like putting flour on dough. And then it also collects all minerals. Horticultural term is chelates minerals, so that microbes can eat the minerals. So it does what organic matter does in any soil. The Maximize has life in it. It has beneficial bacteria, beneficial protozoa, good fungi, and that's what we're trying to do is in soil is supply microbes so that they can feed on the bacteria and feed on higher life forms. You know, fungi can eat the bacteria, protozoa can eat the fungi. So all of those things, those life forms are in Maximize, along with the most famous fungi called mycorrhiza that attaches to the roots, and that does miraculous things for soil. And then almost every mineral in the periodic table is in Maximize, and those minerals are also important for feeding soil microbes. Then the final ingredient is the Nourish-Biosol, best organic fertilizer I've ever used, made from the bloom of cultured cottonseed meal and soybean meal, and completely organic. The bloom is called Mycelium, and it's also food for microbes, feeds plants, feeds turf. So now we have ways of building the soil and ways of feeding the plants with those 3 products all at the same time. So this lawn will root as quickly as possible. All the microbes and food for microbes will allow for the soil to be aerated and for the roots to go down deeply. And so it's the best way to prepare soil for turf or plants or any, trees, shrubs, vegetables, anything. The products are concentrated, they're organic, they're easy to apply, they're fast to apply. So it makes for a very convenient, economical way of improving soil, rather than getting big piles of any kind of wood-based product and having to spread it out here. The other part of preparing for turf that's interesting to a lot of people is whether to till or not. In this case, we were building this big exhibit, building these rocks, so there was a lot of heavy equipment on it. So we knew there was compaction. So we came in and we tilled it as deep as we could get, about 6 to 8 inches, because we want to loosen that soil. If we didn't think the soil was compacted, we could just level it off and use our products on top, and then those microbes and food for microbes will actually aerate the soil on its own. But in this case, since we knew we had compaction, we ripped it and tilled it, loosened the soil, and then used the product before we tilled it and after we tilled it. If I was doing a home garden, I'd probably only do it after, and I think you get the most for your money that way. Not that it hurts to till it in. Tilling in general in organic gardening these days is looked down upon because once we establish these microbes, we don't want to damage the colonies of beneficial bacteria and beneficial fungi. So what we want to do is continue to put beneficial bacteria and fungi and protozoa and good nematodes and not do a lot of physical disturbance to the soil because that damages these colonies that we're building. So it's kind of a whole new way of gardening. Instead, you know, some people like every year when they do their vegetables to go in there with a tiller and till it as deeply as possible. That is discouraged if you're using our products and using any products whose premise is to build the soil with microbiology, because that'll damage the microbiology. With a turf, you don't have to worry about that because we couldn't till this if we wanted to. So that's a summary of how we're going to maximize a healthy, strong lawn in just a few weeks. This will root, it'll start growing, we'll mow it as soon as possible. I usually like to wait about 2 weeks and then get it ready for warthogs.